Well, it's good to have you back. And the first question is weirdly, it's a very small question, but it got me thinking. So the question is this, and it comes from Carl. My question today is regarding saunas, saunas. What are your thoughts on traditional steam versus infrared? Well, first off, there's another option that I think you're missing, and that's what I have right there. In fact, as soon as I finish this podcast today, I'll be jumping in it. I have a home sauna, I keep getting told when I go to the store. The downside of steam is that they're always broken. I mean, okay, I'm just going to bounce through some things real fast before I talk about the value of the hot sauna. The downside of a steam bath is that you're mixing water with electricity. Now, my friends and I, we're all in our mid-60s now. We've been joking about we should write a book called Stuff We Know. It's about how to do like basic home repairs and stuff. Overwhelmingly, everybody agrees on one thing. When you mix water and electricity, you have to bring in the professionals. I've had 3 hot tubs in my life. Hot tubs have a shelf life, and when they break, you get them repaired a few times, and it's like, no, they're done. I'm not gonna mess around with electricity and water. I don't like steam rooms only because they always break, and it's not an if, but it's a when. Moreover, I don't know if anybody sells a home use steam room. Maybe they do. I mean, obviously, you know, it's like when your daughter takes a shower, she steams up the bathroom for days, especially if you live in this climate. I don't know if there's a home. If there is, I'm sorry. Now, infrared, I don't know much about because I don't have one. What I have is a good old-fashioned sauna, and I'm a huge fan of saunas. Now, I know a few years ago, the rage was to, you know, soak yourself in ice baths and stuff like that. And there's great value in it. I watched a TV show where a person went through all kinds of traumas, you know, that were relieved by the ice bath. I know this, and this comes from some of the professionals I work with the military, that for those of us with concussion issues, and hi, I'm Dan, I have concussion issues, you know, the cold, the cryotherapy, the cold is supposed to be quite good. Now, of course, living in Utah in the last year with our record-breaking snow, I don't need to spend any more money to get cold. All I need to do is go outside in another snowstorm and shovel some more. The interesting thing, and I think it's in Brad Pellin's book on heat, is that he compares what happens to you physiologically, pardon me, when you do an ice bath and when you take a sauna. And the interesting thing is, and it's something called heat reactive proteins, and I'm already out of my lane by just saying that sentence, but the reactions are the exact same. Now, here's the issue for me. I can make myself ice bath. I think I can. Except, you know what? I notice I don't. So with all my discipline, and I don't want to pat myself too much in the back, but, you know, I can show you through my career and my life that, you know, I have a lot of self-discipline. I'm very good at it. I took courses on it to improve it. I can train by myself. I can work by myself. You know, I've got those skills. But man, to jump into an ice bath 5 days a week and just sit there, you know, is for me very difficult. Having said that, I sauna 5 days a week, and I'm starting to sauna now before my mobility and flexibility work. So if we're gonna do mobility work, say at 9:30, I'll jump in the sauna at probably 8 and get a half-hour sauna in. I listen to, I use brain.fm. I put on the unguided meditation and I calm down. And the reason I need the hour is I want to shower up. Sometimes I have to set things up, but I've gone as late as 9:10 in the sauna and still was ready by 9:30. So I got to rethink starting so early. Many afternoons I'll sauna in the later afternoon so with the meditation, the unguided meditation music, just to kind of cool down, especially if, like right now I'm writing a new book. So I get in these flurries of typing, and then I hit a wall, and I find that if I set the timer on the sauna and I say, well, now I've got 25 minutes to finish up all this stuff in a day. It used to be called end spurt productivity. And they found that with a lot of businesses, a whole bunch of sales happened at 11:50, 10 minutes to noon. A lot of work got done at 4:30 to 5 o'clock when the company closed the doors. And I program that into my brain. I know that if I set a timer, that I'll get that work done. Now, the nice thing about having when I set my sauna, it's got this little noise, and it's not exactly a timer ticking down, but the noise reminds me I've got to get things done. Very rarely do I write anything at that time, but I'll edit, I'll double check things, I'll shuffle around chapters and paragraphs and things like that. So I do the work of being a writer without doing the work of writing, so to speak. Yeah, I'm a big fan of saunas. I like what they do for I've got a few joints that have some arthritis issues. My right ankle, you know, when you throw the discus 15,000 times a year for 41 years, the right ankle, you do that, you know, under a lot of stress. I have some small issues there with arthritis. Now I've got the general issues. You know, the other day we had 3 back-to-back snowstorms that were kind of unexpected. You know, shoveling snow is hard on my old throwing muscles, and so the sauna seems to help me relax. And I do a little bit of easy mobility work, and I do a little bit of easy flexibility work. Now, I also work on some other things. Very often when I sauna, I take hair conditioner, and I would strongly suggest you be very careful when you do this to put it here and bring it back. Don't let that stuff get in your eyes. It's not as bad as soap, but it can be irritating. I also do some other things. I have some brushes, and in the past, I used to have some scrapers and stuff where, you know, you take them and you scrub your skin and you scrape your skin. They often leave kind of weird red welts on some people, depending on the part of the body. I do it, I get some. I also use, I want to bring this in, this is a little device I found on Amazon, and this is a little machine. You press the button, and it's a pore sucker. P-O-R-E sucker. And I'm like, yeah, that's disgusting. It's disgusting, but I got to tell you one thing, it cleans out the pores really well. I would caution you about putting on any kinds of creams and lotions in a sauna. If you do, bring it in with you, put it on, and then put it back outside, because those oils heat up a lot and you can really scald yourself. And then it's really hard to get, that burning oil is hard to kind of get off your skin. So, you know, I've also read, and to prepare for this question, I read online that there's a rule called Allen's rule. Now, I remember this from my youth because my brother Phil, his middle name was Allen, Philip Allen John. And I just remembered it because of that. But the Allen law is that if you see a rabbit with very short ears and kind of puffy, they tend to be from the colder regions. And as rabbits get into hotter and hotter areas, their ears get longer and longer, their legs get longer, and they get more and more ripped and lean, which comes to that thing called jackrabbit starvation. Why do I even bring this up is that heat tends to make mammals lean out. Now, some people believe that there's also big growth hormone releases from doing saunas. Again, now we're running into places you got to be a little careful of, because, you know, if you think the reason you didn't make the Olympic team was because you didn't release enough growth hormone taking your sauna, I can probably have another discussion. I like my sauna. I like for what it does for my head. I like what it does in my joints, my injuries. I think it helps me in my overall health. I'm hoping it helps with my longevity. And it's also, you know, if if you ever just really need to talk to somebody and just kind of clear the air, so to speak, stinky, hot, sweaty air, a sauna is a good place to have a conversation. I'm also doing something now. Now, this is, by the time this comes out, I might have stopped doing this already. But I also now listen to podcasts in the sauna. And I got to tell you, you're a much more captive audience in a sauna than you are in your car. The one thing I hate, most podcasts have commercials about every 15 seconds. Most of these fitness people online have commercials every 15 seconds, and they're sponsored by everybody. Not me. I'm Dan John from danjohnuniversity.com. And if you, I'll stop that. That was an attempt at humor. Thank you. You know, Carl, that was a good question. And I like those kind of questions that get me, kind of perk my ears up, if we want to go back to the rabbit observation. All right, move on.